My amazing Leos, welcome into a general weekly reading for you. Please keep in mind, as always, these are general messages, so just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. But we're going to begin and pull a couple messages from the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck and then see where the reading takes us. For this upcoming week for Leo, the Fulfillment card, okay, as well as Wonders. It feels like you are doing a lot of pondering, investigating, questioning throughout the week. It feels like you're also very observant in the midst of a very fulfilling kind of week period for you. You may even find that there's unexpected fulfillment and satisfaction, all right? I also find there's somewhat of a focus on justice that you feel needs to be served. Maybe somebody, if not multiple people, who have been working against you or mistreating you, or both. But regardless, I find that you're thinking about fairness in this world, and even a lack thereof which. But I really sense that there's, as well, temptation throughout the week that Spirit's saying, we guarantee that the majority of which within this collective will, at least at certain points or one specific point, give into this temptation, but it's all about moderation, all right? Think about, how this affects you physically or energetically, how this affects things that you are committed to, okay? Or could be. But I also find that you're thinking about your mental space, maybe even your emotional state of being at certain points, and maybe thinking, okay, I have some healing to do. Now, I find that a lot of Leos drawn to the reading as well, like myself, are thinking about a new situation for the future. I know for me, yet again, I'm moving to a new place of residence. I really didn't want to have to move this soon after moving into this new place, but it's happening for a reason, okay? It's just a lot of depressing, kind of moody, low vibrational energy that I want to say I expected to an extent, but didn't know it was going to be to this extent. Anyway, so whatever kind of situation you're thinking about changing for the future, it directly stems from the fact that something at hand is not ideal for you, at least not anymore, in alignment with you. Or maybe you just don't have a situation that you wish you did, or maybe need. Let's pull a couple more and then we'll move on to some tarot. Ooh, leadership. There's something about you leading others in such a way that highlights how others can't or don't. It almost feels like, say, for example, in a work environment, for a lot, you lead people in a very likable, very gentle but bold and confident way. A likable way, if I didn't say it already. And this highlights somebody who is more so, or in general, in an authority position, or maybe somebody who is at the same level as you, or regardless, who doesn't know how to, or just simply doesn't go about it in the way you do. Do you know what I'm saying? And so Spirit's saying this week highlights the fact that you are a true leader. Anyways, it definitely could be in other ways or one other specific way. But, for some, this is being shown very clearly online. And I really feel like this is a time for you to be shining bright and to be trusting your internal compass. Now, as well, Leo, the week is all about going forward, all right? Even preparing more so to move on forward, to upgrade, to advance, to improve. And it feels like this is in the midst of a time period where this will involve you needing to more than ever trust your intuition. You know that your intuition is strong. Why don't you trust it fully? Why do you trust it and then question it? Or trust it and then go against it? This could more so be highlighting, past times in that sense. But it feels like this is a week where Spirit's saying there are some important choices now and more so moving forward that you need to be utilizing your intuition in regards to, okay? But moving on, let's take that card for the board and let's move on to the tarot. There will be moments with the stillness card where you're pushed to stop and maybe smell the roses, but just stop, you know what I mean? Because it almost feels like you have a lot on your plate, a lot to catch up with on. Maybe you're even adding more onto your plate. Your mind is racing. You're just feeling like you need to be in a million different places at once or one after the other. Yeah, I'm hearing one task, one accomplishment after the other. Take a deep breath, because that stillness is going to be your best friend at certain points. You won't even know it in the moment at certain points, But we're moving on to the Light Seers Tarot. Flopping out. We're shifting on forward to a less of a hermit mode way of living, okay? It feels like this week may involve moments where you're not alone physically and maybe even emotionally spiritually, and this leaves you feeling more connected, more fulfilled, all right? It may even highlight how you wish to more so see things moving forward. It may even push you to imagine the best. It almost feels like you're thinking a lot about friendship, all right? And maybe the lack thereof which in your life, and could this person be a good friend for me in the future? Will this person be my friend still in the future? Stuff of this nature will be on your mind and taking a highlight. But it feels like, yeah, there are certain moments where they're saying these do connect, okay? Where you're alone, right? You're not actually alone because of your spirit guides and whatnot, but this alone time throughout the week at certain points really feels hardworking, a lot of processing, a lot of remembering, rethinking, a lot of spirituality. And I find that this is going to work to your advantage, but a little bit of it may be working against you. Say a spirit's trying to get you to overthink the past, or over analyze, or over ponder the potentials of the future, or a choice you made, you know what I mean? And so they're saying, let this be a time where you take back control in those small moments. But yeah, again, I find that this collective really needs to be heading towards leaping into more connecting, more living. The Lovers. Why is love also potentially taking a highlight for you? While I find that Spirit's saying your choices do add up, so make the wisest of the choices, knowing yourself and your path best, okay? You've learned the lessons, you've lived these mistakes and choices that you've regretted, so let's not make them again. It almost feels like somebody drawn to the reading needs to break a cycle to shift forward towards a lighter, more successful state of being. If you're on social media, I find that one, if not two at most accounts, are really doing well, one better than the other in one way, while the other is doing better than the other one in a different way. Okay, but justice. We did speak upon that, and the Five of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. There's at least one situation throughout the week. For some, it's very specifically on the weekend or the beginning stages of the week. You are expecting the worst while putting in the effort. And Leo, you need to remember that this does change things for the worse if you continue to expect the worst, okay? It feels as if that is understandable. It's even proven correct, right? Maybe in regards to one person, a couple different people. The way some things run feels very work-related for a lot. All right, there may be a couple of different situations for some that you are expecting the worst in while putting an effort towards this and that of importance, even maybe when you don't want to or don't feel up to for one if not multiple reasons. And all the meanwhile, you want justice. You want things to be righted is kind of the wording. There's a focus on somebody wanting you to write something down, and it almost feels like you intuitively feel like you shouldn't, but you're inching closer to doing so. I know for me, one of the authority figures at work, hopefully nobody sees this from my job, but one of the authority figures at my job wants me to formally write out a complaint about another one, and I'm getting closer to it. But anyways, it feels like this is a time for you where Spirit's saying, let the justice come in as it's meant to, all right, when it's meant to. You don't need to, I'm hearing get involved, or you don't need to force it. It just feels like this is one of those times where you need to trust in the mystery of when things are going to be corrected, okay? But it does feel like there's change on your mind because someone wants to change something, or something's shifting and changing where you don't really approve or want it. Does that make sense? But I also feel like there's a focus on you realizing or stumbling upon information recently where now that's helping you shift things on forward when the time is right. There's significance to the beginning of April, all right, and also the middle of March. Okay, but I really find that this is a time for you where you are in the midst of a wish fulfillment. What is this for you? For somebody, your social media account's doing better, or if not multiple once again, and that's what you've been wanting. And so that will lead you towards financial and recognition success in the future, and even maybe now. But I do find that this is more in regards to a connection for some. It could be, there's so many different possibilities, you know what I mean? But the specifics do come out for a reason. I'm also feeling this reminder coming through that being drawn to this reading within this collective, you are not only so guided by spirit and very intuitive, walking this very purposeful, successful path. As I'm tapping on the Justice card, you're golden. Okay, you are golden, my friend, and you need to remember this. I know it's easy to forget it, but I find that this week really pushes you to remember this to the furthest extent. Let's pull a couple more. Where are we time-wise? 11:27. I looked at the time stamp for a reason. Moving on forward to the Four of Swords, the Moon card, as well as the Knight of Swords, and the King of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. Okay, so these three pairing together because in the midst of being on the move, accomplishing, maybe even in the midst of migrating, while doing so, the mystery of your path is being highlighted. The mystery tying into your spirituality is taking a highlight, and your purpose maybe, and how that's meant to play out in the future. And they're saying you're protected. Okay, please rest your mind, your heart, and your soul, at least at certain points throughout the week, because I feel like there's a risk of you're at risk of stressing yourself out or letting factors stress you out, where this might have been happening recently. I know I can relate, but the Two of Cups and the King of Pentacles, I feel like this is talking about how people are feeling more connected to you, as if you're more relatable. You're also feeling like people are viewing you in this very King of Pentacles, Two of Cups light. Okay, somebody who's desirable, somebody who is strong in nature. Naturally, we are the Strength card. But where is your Sun card energy at certain points? You know what I mean? Are you shining as bright as you could be in the happiest ways that you should be? You know what I mean? But I really find that this is a week where they're saying, put your Leo hands up and say, it is what it is, and it will be what it's meant to be, when it's meant to be, period. And I am not going to try to control what I know I shouldn't, okay? Or maybe even can't. But it does feel like with those motorcycles going by, they're saying life is going to speed on up for you moving forward as things work out for you in a lot of ways, and you have more of a social life, more of a love life, and new beginnings come in for you, new passion is sparks left and right. So enjoy certain levels of the simplicity and even alone time throughout this week while it does exist more than it will in the future, okay? You will enjoy the speed of life moving forward, but there's a part of this week that you will need to savor while it exists in the ways that it's existing, okay? So I'm going to leave your reading at that. I hope it was truly helpful. I always love a good Leo reading. I will see you in your next reading. Bye, Leo.